Ked's gonna be first up versus Jayhawk. Immediate maim off the bat. Jayhawk already got the blades rotting him down. Gonna have to find a way to deal with the immediate incarnation out of Keddy. Trying to see if he can just maintain the pressure on the mage. Gonna be a freeze for Jayhawk. You gotta find a way to deal with the blades. They're just gonna be constant pressure that he's gotta constantly deal with. Trying to go for a bit of damage on the Ked. Back it up out of there. Looking for maybe actually trying to go for a full reset. Still big bleeds on a J. It's going to be an ice block. I was looking to see if maybe Ked got him some Shadow Meld. I was expecting a stun onto J, but apparently that just didn't go off at all. So Ked is in a great spot. Was able to get a pretty big defensive out of J, but the man has blinks. He got himself all the time. Still holding on to a trinket, so he's A-okay. Is actually going to charge right in, but a bash is going to stop him. Trinket out of J, freezing Ked before he gets himself out of that situation. You're definitely gonna have to get some kind of line of sight on Ked, away from any kind of pillars, and then blast him out. By the way, loving the fact that you got the Asher Vein daggers and you got the enchants on those. That looks great, by the way. Whenever you pop out of cat form, whenever you get to see it, just for a second, just next to me, go healing yourself. Big bleeds under J. Does want to get himself some damage on the Ked. Big missiles to follow. If only he had touch of the magic on top of it. Blinking to try to get himself an interrupt, but a bear form is available for Ked. Jay trying to see if he can stave off these bleeds with his own shields, but the man actually doesn't have too many bleeds on him. Ked popping right back out without even catching himself a restyle, but I guess he got himself last second, maybe still got himself a stun. There you go. Oh, it'll look good. If only he could get like the red daggers too, like the nightmarish daggers, but I don't think there's too many options when it comes to the feral daggers. Is there trinket interrupt onto that burst? Jayhawk is able to get a trinket out of Ked, so that could be maybe good. It's just Ked in most cases, like, he doesn't get polyed. There's no stuns for Jay. Roots, you can shift most of them. So there's not really a lot for him to trinket. Maybe like a Brett does go for the interrupt, trying to see if he can get aggressive with his interrupts on the arcane damage of Jayhawk. And Jay doesn't really have much in terms of ice block, in terms of survivability. I think it's just over. Yeah, the bleeds do end up rotting down little by little. Ked just had to get the pressure rolling at all times with Jay. Let the dots do plenty of work. Let the consistency rot him down over time. Holy Saya coming out in the open. He doesn't really want to fight Ked behind the pillar. He'd rather fight him on his own terms, man. If you can just get the Feral out in the open, stun lock him down with a big Crusade, force the Feral to rotate every single one of these defenses, because the Feral could just die through the defenses through Paladin's Crusade damage. Is gonna go for a stun, wants to go behind the pillar, but realizes that he needs to get those dots in there. Stun as the Thorns is up. Bark's got to follow Ked. Does not have a trinket for this one. So for Holy Sight, this could be a good spot. Wake up Ashes. Can you maybe stay up on top of Ked? Trying to wall together with a Heart of the Wild for Ked. Should give him a lot of that survivability as the Shield of Vengeance is out for Holy Saya. Trying to see if he can go aggressive while tanking up damage a little bit. Mad burst onto Ked. Trying to see if he can keep some pressure rolling to Holy Saya. Bubble to give him that immunity. Ked looking to escape. Does he have the line of sight? Needs to find a way out of this situation. Almost gets away with that Shadow Meld, but I think it's just going to be down for the count as Holy is going to end up slamming it down. Good use of that Shadow Meld. Didn't quite get you out into a better position, but it was still pretty nice. Ather is up next and wants to give my man Holy Saya as much of an honor duel. At least let him catch up full of health. There's only so much you can really do with the Crusade Wings, bubble, everything, but at least goes for a nice little honorable bow between the two Paladins. I like that, man. I like that a lot. Hell yeah. Holy Saya opening up with a judgment. So is Ather. Both Paladins judging each other. Stun. That's going to be a immediate trick out of Holy Saya. Trying to see if he can break away from the damage. Big blind to give himself a little bit of that breather away from Ather. But that Crusade Wings is still active. You better have yourself a Blessing of Protection or a Spell Warden to deal with it. Shield of Vengeance, you got that. You better use that Lay on Hands. Try to see if you can just lay on hands and heal through the damage. Actually, might be the play. Ather with a Spell Warden, just trying to make sure he got himself that immunity as he's chasing after Holy Saya. The man can't even go for a stun or nothing, and it's just over to Hodge by Ather, taking him out. Wanted to make sure he's maximizing the value of a big Crusade Wings. And Deathwish trying to see if he can get himself an angle. Needs to make sure he's got an Atherman in a good spot, so you can go for Sniper Shot. Does walk away from Pillar into a rapid fire. That's going to be quite a bit of damage. Deathwish, I think, was that a random proc of damage, or is that like, I think that was actual True Shot, actual use of True Shot, because sometimes Hunters do get a random proc of True Shot, but I think it's only if you cast Arcane Shot, no, Aim Shot, right? blind into Deathwish. Athaman does not have wings for a good while. Deathwish could have Athaman in a good spot. Explosive shot, Death Shock him. That's a lot of damage together. Is able to go for a little bit of healing, just trying to see if he can survive this damage, trying to see if he can play against it as best as possible with self-survivability. Volley for just a moment. There's going to be yet another explosive shot to follow. Scatter shot onto Athos. He goes in for Wake of Ashes. Freeze as the man sinks into the quicksand, into the ground. This is where Deathwish has a good spot to maybe get some damage, but his health is not feeling that great. Hunters take a lot of damage, man. They got a lot of defensives, but the damage you take is a ton. Deathwish committing a lot of defenses just now. Turtle as well as Survival of the Fittest. Maybe a bit of an overlap between the two, but at this point, you gotta have something, anything. Shot him up for just a second. Freeze trap, maybe no. Atha just ends up keeping the pressure on the hunter. As a hunter, you are squishy unless you have a defensive for every single approach. Like every time you're fighting Atha, anytime he's hitting you, if you're not rotating Survival of the Fittest, or feign deathing and trying to see if you can back away behind the pillar, or pop an acceleration, or use them Bear's Fortitude, it's kind of rough. This is why a lot of hunters even play with a pet, because at least you get that sack as well on top of it, you know? Gonna be Skillmonger up next. Full stun by Atha. Is gonna go for the trinket as it is full crusade out of Athaman. Has bubble in case he wants to use it. Is gonna use bubble. This is your opportunity. You could actually just wipe this monk off the face of the earth if you're careful enough. Got himself plenty of range. Karma should be available for Skillmonger, so could reverse it back into Atha. Blind for just a second. Kind of lowish on health. Atha taking quite a bit of hits too as well. Doesn't really have much to work with here. Has himself shield of Venus. There goes the Karma as well as the Ford Bruce. Skillmonger tanks up as much as possible, hoping to slow down Atha. He has himself lay on hand, so could use that. If you use it carefully. Stun. Wait, no more trinket. Oh, Atha does end up getting himself one more kill pickup. My man. Oh, and he still has himself lay on hands. Nelly trying to see if he can get around the corner. Got himself fully empowered. Nelly needs to get back in there as soon as possible. Does go for the oppressive roar. Atha knows he is going to expect a deep breath out of the dragon. If you can use that mobility to catch up to Atha, you'll be golden. You just got to get him out in the open some way, somehow. Got himself instant cast at the very least. Living Flame was able to get himself damage while moving, but Athaman is just trying to see if he can blink away at Nelly, trying to go for a little bit of healing. Charging out as Nelly playing a little bit defensive, but Atha is out in the open. Could be opportunity for Nelly to make a play. Deep breath. Does it, Atha? You have a big go. Fire breath. Interruption. Atha barely surviving it, but still is actually kind of okay. Nelly super low in health as well. Big lay enhance. Will that be enough? Stun into Nelly. Has a trinket for this one. Has himself plenty of damage as well. Knocking Atha back. Big blasters. Atha barely alive. Got himself a little bit of light inside. Nelly reversing all that time. Needs to get himself as much healing as possible. Whatever healing you got, use it now. Big damage out of Atha. Wait a second, Nelly. Oh my goodness, that was even cheat death. My goodness, Atha. Oh man, my goodness. Was able to somehow swing it back on top. That was close between him and Nelly, blasting each other out. God, the augmentation of Oka burst is so brutal. The breath together with the knockup. I think Atha at that point maybe had a defensive. I think it was Spore Cloak at the end, right? The game was kind of short too. It wasn't super high into dampening, so I think if that Spore Cloak, if that was any higher dampening, Spore Cloak would not have saved you. That was rough. Let's get another one going, yeah? Do you want to